Hey guys, Phantom of Darkness here, and I just wanted to let you know that I need a damn haircut. And besides that, I'm doing a Q&A right now, and so you guys can get a better idea of who I am as a person and individual. I guess it's been requested. I'm just kidding. I requested it for myself, and then I asked you guys to participate, and luckily, fortunately, you actually did. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. But besides that, hopefully the audio is okay for this. I'm not using my mic for this particular intro, whatever you want to call it. And yes, I'm in my pajamas. I'm in my little shirt right here. So don't worry about that.
All right, so these questions were gathered from Instagram and Twitter. So if you were wondering for whatever reason, that's where I got all these questions from after I asked, people to send me Q&A questions. So, and again, guys, this is just a little bit of, I guess, to give back to you guys, to let you know about me personally and who I am as a person and this and that and all that good jazz stuff, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, we'll get on to the first question, and it's asked by Terminally Nerdy, who asks, who is your favorite YouTuber and why is it me? Okay, by the way, Terminally Nerdy is a great YouTuber. If you want to go check out his YouTube channel, he doesn't do narrations or anything of that nature, but he does exceptional content, so you want to go check him out. So anyway, that's a really difficult question to answer in one whole, because I love YouTubers, I spend my whole entire life on YouTube. So to basically sum it up, I really love horrorQ&A, of course, in terms of narrations, and Busta. Those are probably my top two. There's some other guys who I really like, of course, but those are the ones that set the standard for me, at least in my opinion, because there's something just great in the way they read. And for Busta personally, it's the fact that he's really conversational, and for horrorQ&A, it's the content they constantly, he does this every single day where he uploads a video, and I can't even keep up with that kind of stuff as a narrator myself. I really admire that. In terms of out of this genre, if we're talking about vloggers, I only watch a couple of them, and they're Driving Me Crazy and Adam the Woo. They're exceptionally gifted and I think talented vloggers, honestly, and they create such really interesting videos. I mean, if you look at Driving Me Crazy's videos, they're very, very deep, and they make you they're provocative, and they make you think deeply, and there's so much good to say about that channel. And he's obviously one of my good friends on YouTube, so you guys want to check him out as well. And Adam the Woo, what can you say more about this guy? I mean, he takes you on trips throughout various areas, and I like how every historical place that he takes you on, it's always something that you can learn from and you can actually gain information from, which is very cool. And I like historic landmarks and looking around, finding other places of interest that I think are really cool. And now heading out to another genre, it's more of like a traveling genre, I guess. I really love Dor Walter's World. If you guys haven't checked him out, he's awesome. He does traveling videos as well, but it's in a different format. It's more like places and countries and, different kinds of cities and stuff like that he's been. He has whole tons of videos for you to look at if you're interested in traveling tips or, any kind of video that actually gains you information about a certain place that you want to know. He's awesome, so you want to go check him out. And yeah, I think that's pretty much who I covered. I may have forgotten some people, but those are the people I really love and I really admire, and there's some things I can learn from them even out of the genre that I can implement into my own channel in a way. So there's that answer for you. So Amina actually asks, what language besides your native language would you like to be fluent in? And it's a two-part question. What is your favorite horror movie and book? Now, that's a really interesting question about the language. It's actually a good question. So I actually am an immigrant. Well, technically not, but I mean, I was born here, but my parents were immigrants from, Poland. So I don't really know Polish that much, and I would like to probably get into actually learning a little bit more of that before I get to, other languages. But I would say that's probably a language I would want to learn just because, it's part of my ancestry, it's part of my history, and it's something that I really, really, really probably should get acclimated with eventually. I mean, I can comprehend it, and, when my parents speak to me in that language, I can understand what they're saying, but I can't speak back necessarily, so I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near fluent. So I bet if I could work hard enough, I could probably do that. I can probably learn a language and pick up on it quick just because it's in my blood, it's in my history. As far as favorite horror movie, it has to be Suicide Club, or there was Phantasm, the first Phantasm. Those movies were insane. And I actually think the tall man from Phantasm, the character who played that, actually recently died. Maybe it was 2 years ago, so I guess not that recent. But those movies, if you haven't checked them out, I encourage you to check them out. Another question Amina asks is, what is the most bad or disgusting habit you have? And I have to say, I pick at my hair a lot, and I play with my hair quite a bit, so I think that's probably my most embarrassing / bad habit to have. I don't want to freaking pick all my hairs out and not become bald, but that would be kind of interesting. Bald phantom. Oh, creepy, scary. Moving on to the next question, which is, of course, by Driving Me Crazy, who I mentioned earlier, who you should definitely still check out if you haven't even thought about that yet. What did you want to be when you grew up, and what was the dream gig? Now, this is kind of funny. So, growing up, I've always had an affinity for the arts, for entertaining, and to be, under the spotlight to some degree, in any capacity. And whether that was sports, growing up, being in the NBA was one of my big passions, and I really, really wanted to be the star player in the NBA and just grow up. And it wasn't even that I was thinking, because back then you could jump from high school to the pros. And so when I was growing up, even in elementary school, this is where the passion, I guess, began, because I wanted to, go from, straight out of elementary school to the NBA or some crap like that. So, and to this day, I really like the NBA, and that's really the only sport I'm so attached to. I don't know why. That's the only sport I really get into. I mean, I play this video game, if you guys heard of it, NBA 2K17, so much. And that's one of my biggest games that I play, as far as that's concerned. And also, I wanted to be some kind of singer, or I wanted to be a musician of some sort at some capacity, which was kind of funny, because when I was younger, I used to set up stuffed animals in my room, and I would sing for them like they were my audience, and get into that. And this one time, my brother caught me, and he called me gay, and I didn't like that at all, because I'm not homophobic, but that was just for an 8-year-old, that really got to me. And in other times, I would bring this tape recorder to actually do shows. I would entertain my friends and stuff like that. Every time I would go to recess, and I would play with them and stuff like that, and we would record on this tape recorder thing, and it'd be like a radio show, and that was really cool to me, and everybody loved what I was doing, and I was like, wow, this is actually really fun. I really hope I can do something like this to just to have a little bit of fun and have a career that I'm actually really happy for and stuff like that. So that was pretty entertaining. Miss Monster asks, and again, this is another narrator that you should check out. She just actually started her channel, and she's up and running again. So she took a little small hiatus, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm correct. Anyway, she asks, what is your stance on hot dogs? And if you want my serious answer, I'm gonna tell you, I love chili dogs, and I love those kind of dogs that are just peppered with tons of freaking toppings and whatnot. That is awesome. I love that. Tastes really good and scrumptious, and oh my gosh, I love it so much. As far as just a silly answer to that question, the homeless hot dog man. That's who I admire. You guys should check him out. He does stories that you will not regret hearing. So if you want to go check out some, no, I'm kidding. He doesn't exist. So don't even take that serious. There's no homeless hot dog man narrator, and you shouldn't worry about that. It's just a little thing that I came up with randomly on Dark Somnia's channel, who I guess this is a narration shout out, but you should check him out too. He makes great content. And of course, we're moving on to the next question on Twitter, of course. And Rainer asks, do you love or hate pineapple on your pizza? Rainer, I'm here to tell you and everybody else that it doesn't matter what's on my pizza. It could be freaking poop. I will eat it. I'm not really a picky eater when it comes to that, In terms of healthy food, yeah, I probably don't like most of the healthy food, so I guess I am a picky eater. Never mind. And now we're moving on to another set of questions, which are by the same person. Her name is Carrie, and I think I will answer them. It's in a series of questions. So, Obligatory request for your favorite movies and music. Be specific. I want specific genres, movies, and bands named. Okay, so in terms of genres for music, I like the underground scene a lot. I like basically underground music and indie rock, indie pop, that kind of stuff. I really love Nada Surf, and that's probably my favorite band of all time because I have this connection with them that is just unreal to me. And I actually met the lead singer, and it was such an awesome experience. It was so surreal, actually, to be in that moment because it was completely out of nowhere. I mean, I went to his concert, and I was standing right outside concert venue before it actually started, and he just kind of randomly walks up to me and starts talking to me, and we just made small talk. I didn't get a picture because I thought, I didn't want to bother him too much. I thought, like he probably would be sick of people asking him for autographs and stuff like that. So the lead singer I met, and we just kind of talked a little bit. It was, it wasn't anything deep or intellectual or anything. It was just about the surrounding area. But that kind of stuff does mean a lot to fans and people who like really appreciate someone who they really dedicate themselves to, listen and take a passion to. So it was a remarkable time, and I'll never forget that day, that's for sure. But other bands that I really like, I like Jukebox the Ghost. I like Kanon in terms of rap. Yeah, I do like rap, unfortunately. I know a lot of people are like, oh, rap. But, I do like rap. As long as it has a clear message, a clear, distinct purpose. And Kanon knows that he has amazing songs. And I think the lyricism is incredible. Really deep, profound, very introspective music that gets you to think. And I love bands that get you to think really hard and, that kind of stuff. So in terms of that, I like Magnus Garden. If anyone's heard of them, they're pretty cool. I guess they're described as new disco in a way. So I guess, I can't really put a distinct label on them because I'm not even entirely sure myself. But they got some pop music sound in their band, that's for sure. And Wolfside, of course. If you want to talk the pioneers of music, I love Little Richard and I love Chuck Berry. Outstanding artists, and they're really transcendent artists, and Little Richard was ahead of his time in so many ways, and so was Chuck Berry. Those guys, I'm so glad that they're still with us. I really would want to meet them at some point, but I know they're getting older and things happen in life, and they're both elderly, but it would just be an amazing honor to be able to be in their presence and actually meet them and to discuss with them how they basically formed rock and roll and how they started it. They revolutionized the genre and they started something, and that's what I love. I love that. Moving on to the second question she asks, in a recent tweet you said that you started horror narrations because your favorite YouTubers wouldn't talk to you. Care to expand on that? And there goes my dog. Anyway, just ignore that, I guess. But I guess I would say, I don't know. It wasn't so much that they wouldn't talk to me as much it was, these were like big YouTubers and they weren't horror narrators. I didn't really get into that until a little bit later where I discovered them, to be honest. And this was a few years ago, and I had written a few things, messages and whatnot to some YouTubers that I really liked, and I said some really profound things, and they never even wrote back to me or really acknowledge me or anything. And just, that experience made me think, if I'm ever going to be a YouTuber in the future, of course I didn't know that at the time, but, if I ever were, I would respond to everybody to the best of my ability. Obviously you can't, as you grow, it's almost impossible to respond to everything. But the fact of the matter is, if someone writes you something really long, and, I don't have any animosity towards anybody. I really don't have any hard feelings against, and I understand their perspective because they're busy and they got all things to do. But, I just, wanted, I guess, to be listened to. I don't know. It doesn't even matter anymore. That's in the past and it doesn't matter anymore. So great question. And the next question she asks was, what were your channels before Phantom of Darkness? Another good question. So I didn't really have a serious channel where I was really committed and actually focused really hard on it. It was actually completely spontaneous and completely stupid channel where I would just upload videos of myself. There was one video in particular that my friends just keep they keep joking around about. It's called the haircut video. I mean, none of this stuff is on YouTube anymore because I actually converted the channel I have now into horror narration. So I deleted all those videos and they're gone. Kind of wish I didn't in a way, but they had no point to them. They were just I don't even think they would be categorized as vlogs. They were just me like talking randomly to a camera, which, you know, I guess that does classify as, you know, vlogs, but they had no purpose at all. There was one time where I filmed myself drinking milk and like giving the thumbs up that I drink milk, and I filmed that. So I mean, this was a complete spontaneous channel. I wasn't really serious with that, and I think I wanted to like grow that channel for some ridiculous reason, but you know, being a teenager, it's like at the time, you know, it didn't really make any sense. So no, I'm not going to deal with that. So our next question is, have you ever been arrested? What's the most illegal thing you've done that you're willing to discuss? The most illegal thing I've ever done. Well, I'm not going to get too into detail, but I mean, like, I've never really done anything illegal, really. I mean, I'm a goody two shoes by definition, I guess, but I mean, I actually stole my friend's pennies once. And, you know, we were little kids, and I don't know why. I blamed it on someone else, and he believed it. I feel really bad. I've never done anything like that besides that. But in terms of, like, illegal activity besides that, I guess, I mean, I don't really consider this illegal per se, but I guess marijuana, like, I've had a few, you know, experiences with that. Pretty cool experiences, pretty funny experiences, but maybe I can get into that in a later Q&A video. I don't know. Like that, I mean, I've had some wild times with that. And next question, are you gay, straight, alternative? I like how you're alternative. I love you no matter what, but I'm curious. I'm completely straight. I mean, I've had girlfriends before, and I'm currently single right now, and I don't know why that's really important, but if you guys want to know, I guess that's, yeah, I'm straight as can be, you know, there's no telling what I'll do, you know, in terms of being straight. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, right now, you know, the reason why I don't have a relationship is I'm pretty much focused on getting my career settled. Like, I'm trying to figure my life out. So, I mean, pretty much when I started this channel, I just recently got out of a bad breakup, and it wasn't the greatest breakup in the world. And I mean that in terms of how it ended. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world. So, it is what it is. But, you know, I'm focused on my life right now. I'm trying to make myself better and improve myself every step of the way. But moving on to the next question, and she says, you're 24, right? When is your birthday? Without getting into specific dates, because, I don't know, just with, you know, privacy issues and all that, I just want to make sure that no crazy wombat is going to attack me in the middle of the night and murder me, but, you know, stalk me. But anyway, I don't know what that means. Yeah, my birthday is actually in December, and I'm 25, so, you know, early part of December. Great time to have a birthday because you get your birthday presents and then you get Christmas presents. So that's really awesome. Moving on to what my childhood was like. Now, I mean, this is getting into what my life story or something. But anyway, yeah, my childhood was actually really good. I had a really good childhood. I got to be a kid, and that's what matters most. I mean, my parents were nurturing. They were sweet to me. Basically, what you would want in a parent, you know, they were there for me. They were always there for me. You know, I'm not going to say that we were perfect because there's no such thing as perfect, but, you know, I grew up and I had a really friendly, happy childhood, very peaceful, you know, for the most part. I mean, we've had some struggles, like, you know, I grew up with not very much to begin with, so, you know, we had a lot of struggles in terms of financial issues and stuff like that, and no real complaints here, honestly. Moving on to the next question is, how do you personally compete in this oversaturated market? What do you think makes you different? This is a question that I actually really think about a lot, and I think what makes me unique, I mean, I'm not really, I'm just a typical person from that standpoint. I mean, I'm not someone I'm not some god in the sky who, you know, is so amazing, he shoots down videos and all of you guys watch it. It's nothing like that. I'm not better than anybody. I'm never going to be better than anybody. But, like, I just specifically focus on ghost stories and paranormal stories. I think that's what makes me unique. And I don't go from the typical Reddit stuff, you know, I don't care about, like, the most popular trendy thing that's going to give me views. I don't really care about that at all. I mean, sure, I would love views, of course, don't get me wrong. I would love my channel to be popular, but that being said, like, I just want to make sure that I create good topics. My favorite video that I actually make that I'm proud of that didn't even get that many views is, the Chinatown ghost stories. And I really love doing that. That was phenomenal because I went out of the box and I tried to think of specific neighborhood communities that would probably have ghost stories. And I think that's really interesting to me. Like, like specific, like, little, like, enclaves of like places that have like these rich traditional like stories of like ghosts and whatnot. Luckily I was able to find a few ghost stories of those, but I really want to make another one, but there just aren't that many stories, specifically with Chinatown, that I could find on the internet, and that makes me sad because I really want to make another, like a sequel to that video. So I try to narrate stories and just make them like they're almost like movies, like I'm doing a narration over, like some big, video production or movie production. And, I shouldn't even said big because I don't even think they actually are that kind of quality where they feel like movies to me or something. But, like just that whole concept of it, I should say. Like I like making it look like I directed like a film or something like that, but it's like a short film. And I just like that. That just makes me happy. Like when I see it, when I see the finished product after all that hard work and, working like 3-4 hours just getting the recording down and all that. And just to see, that come to fruition is just, it's awesome, to say the least. And, that's why I do this, because part of that is just the fact that I can create something creative and just run with it, that kind of idea. Next question is, what is your biggest strength and biggest weakness? Biggest strength is like when I get into something and I really love doing it, I'm completely passionate about it, and I'm really determined to be successful at it, and I don't stop until I become successful. And even then, I'm never satisfied. I'm always pushing myself to make myself, exceed what I did previously. And I think that's what makes my work ethic just strong in that sense. My biggest weakness is I can be kind of impatient at times. I can be, I don't know, like sometimes I don't really think things through the way I should. Sometimes I kind of rush things, which I'm learning to do better at. Biggest weakness personally as a person is just, I want to say that, sometimes, I just think too critically of myself. I'm so hard on myself sometimes, and I just wish I wish I could believe in myself a little bit more. But next question, and we got 2 more coming up here. So, have you ever had any mental illnesses, depression, anxiety, bipolar, etc., or physical handicaps, broken bones, or surgery? Nah, in terms of mental illnesses, I've struggled with, bouts of sadness. I wouldn't even consider it depression because I don't think I got that far, but I've gotten pretty sad, really sad, because the thing about depression is it's not something that just comes and goes. It's something that it's consistent, and I've never had a consistency of depression. I've never, depression is something, it's very serious, and I really hope that people who struggle with that can get the help that they need, because that mental illness is just it's a really serious issue, and I think there's not enough studying that goes into it. The human brain is so fascinating, and there's so many elements and so many layers of the human brain that we just don't understand, and we need to really focus on that. Because that's just as important as physical illnesses, and just trying to make sure that our brains are right. Because if you don't have your brain or your mind, you're completely fucked. You need to get your mind settled, your whole psyche settled, and get yourself to healthy thoughts, because that going to be your downfall. And as you hear the friggin' dogs again, that's just how I see it. And of course, last question, have you ever done drugs or known anybody who has that you were really close with? Yeah, of course. Like I said, I just mentioned that marijuana was something that was a part of my life, and it is what it is, Moving on. Spook Santa on Instagram asks, are you in college? If so, what's your major? Actually, I graduated from college. I got an associate's, and that's kind of useless to me, honestly. And I attended college, a small private college, and they pretty much fucked me over. So, yeah, I'm not going to college anymore. And last question, of course, by Mr. Bloody Neko. Phantom, can you do face cams video and show us your puppy? Maybe at a future date. I don't know exactly. I'm not really comfortable with doing face cams because I'm not comfortable being in front of a camera. in the first place. So we'll see. We'll see about that. I mean, I gave you guys, the intro video which was completely stupid and pointless, but at least you got that. But yeah, that's all the questions I think I answered. So if you didn't get a chance to answer or ask any questions, rather, don't fear. I'll probably do this another time. I guess this video took way too long than it needed to. But anyway, guys, gonna have to sign out now, and I really appreciate your viewership, especially with this video because it's a long video, and I don't know why people are interested in me so much. I didn't even think this would be a thing where I'd be able to ask people questions about myself, I guess. And kind of crazy that guys think that I'm that important to you. But anyway, thank you guys, and narration videos, of course, in the future, very near future. So watch out for those. And all right, love you guys. Bye.